Monday video. Do you guys like my little dress? I love it so much. It's like a kitten pinafore. It's so cute. Today's video is a tutorial that my awesome sauce friend Jazz requested. She has a fantastic Instagram page which is called Jasmine Wolfie. I'll put the link to it in the description box down below so you guys can go check it out. I highly recommend that you do. Her photos are gorgeous. She has such a fantastic eye for photography and, you know, skills with editing and that sort of stuff. And her page is gorgeous. Highly recommend. But yes, the tutorial that Jazz requested was an eye tutorial for people who wear glasses. So I've tried to cover, you know, both categories, I guess, of people who wear glasses. You know, people who are short-sighted and people who are long-sighted, because your lenses are going to have a different effect on how your eyes look depending on which one of those is you. So yeah, I'm short-sighted, so the actual tutorial bit is, you know, the short-sighted version, but I'm going to include tips for the long-sighted version. And of course, the tips that I'm showing you guys today can be applied to any kind of different eye look that you want to do. You know, any color combination, anything like that. You know, just using lighter and darker shades the way I've used them. You can use any different color combination in that way that you want. So yeah, I hope you guys, you know, find this informative and entertaining, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I've got my base makeup on, like, you know, my foundation, my concealer, I've powdered everything a little bit. My glasses, because I'm short-sighted, they make my eyes look smaller. Teeny tiny little eyes. Whereas when I take them off, you know, pretty ordinary. Yes, pretty ordinary, but when I put my glasses on, yeah, they make my eyes look smaller. If you're short-sighted, that will be the case. If you're long-sighted, then your lenses will make your eyes look bigger. They'll magnify them a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys different tips depending on what kinds of glasses that you wear, but the actual tutorial that I'll be doing will be for my own glasses, which make my eyes look smaller. I also have hooded eyes, which really doesn't help with the whole eyes looking smaller thing, so yeah, I'll be taking that into account with the, you know, tutorial tips and that sort of stuff. But yeah, first off, in terms of your base, it is really important to make sure that the makeup over your nose, where your glasses sit, is as thin as possible. Because of course, the thicker the makeup is where your glasses sit, the more of an indentation you're gonna get, you know, the more makeup there is for your glasses to rub away at. And the more slick that area is going to become if you have oily skin, so the more your glasses are going to slide down your nose. If you do need more coverage on your nose, try to stick to like spot concealing. You know, try to keep it very minimal as much as you can, just because, like I said, you want to have as little makeup in that area as you can, especially sort of, you know, over your nose here where your glasses sit and under here. On the same note, of course, the concealer under your eyes, it's really important to set it with some kind of powder, because of course, even if your glasses don't touch your cheeks, you know, just as you're normally wearing them, with your facial expressions, they can. You know, like when I grin, I feel my cheeks touch the underside of my glasses, so that's another area where your makeup can kind of wear away a little bit. You can still, of course, you know, wear concealer, foundation, whatever in that area. Powdering it will definitely help to prevent that sort of wear and tear to your foundation throughout the day. But yeah, let's get into the eye makeup stuff. Okay, so because my lenses make my eyes look smaller, everything that I'm going to do in this tutorial is geared towards making my eyes look bigger and more defined, and making my lashes look really nice and bold. Most of the eyeshadow that I'm going to be using is coming from my Too Faced Natural Matte palette. This is like my go-to everyday palette. I love this thing. So you can see already I'm getting like that red little dent there. Oh, it's so annoying. From, you know, the little holder thingies on my glasses. Evidently I need to put a little more powder over that before I put my glasses back on. So to start off with, I'm going to use my fluffy little precise blending brush. I'm going to apply a relatively neutral shade, you know, in the crease and just above it as like my transition shade. And the shade I'm going to be using for that from the Natural Mattes palette is this one here, Nudie, right at the bottom of the palette. You can see it's just slightly darker than my skin tone, just dark enough. And I'm just carrying that all the way in as well. Because I've got a lot of space between my crease and my eyebrows, I tend to take things up a little bit higher. Then I'm going to take my big fluffy blending brush and just really make sure that that's as seamless as it could possibly be. Next, I'm going to take a darker shade. In this case, I'm going to be using Strapless, this sort of rosy tone shade here. I really love this one, it's so pretty. And I'm going to be using that same precise blending brush. And I'm just gonna put this in the crease, but I'm gonna hold the brush on an upwards angle so that it really pushes the shadow like into the top part of the crease and just above it. Because as I said, this whole look for me is geared towards making my eyes look bigger because my lenses make them look smaller. I'm also applying the majority of the shadow on the outer edge because that's gonna help make my eyes look rounder. And I'm using a very light hand. Just going back in with a little bit more. And blending it from the outside in. So you're putting most of the shadow here and just dragging it in. And considering this eye is more hooded, it definitely makes a difference. And puffy, puffy! This is what happens when a chronic illness patient doesn't get enough sleep. I guess with my eyes being quite puffy today, this is a really good time to show you guys a look that makes your eyes look bigger. Then I'm gonna go back to that really fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna pick up some of the creamy white shade in this palette called Heaven, this one here. And then I'm gonna use that to blend everything out at the edges. Again, making sure everything's really seamless. It just takes away some of that transition shade as well and brightens up under the brow really nicely. Now I'm gonna go into a different palette. This is the Urban Decay Beauty with an Edge palette. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's the only name I can find on it. How gorgeous are these shadows? Oh my god. The shade I'm gonna pick up in this one is Baked Cowboy, this one here. Really, you can use any really brightening shade. I'm choosing that one because it complements the green tones in my eyes really nicely. It has that little bit of coppery bronze to it. But basically any bright, you know, shimmery shade is gonna be a really good way to go with this. Or you can, of course, just stick with matte shadows and go for like a matte cream or a matte white. But this is basically going all over the lid. I always tend to use my fingers for my lid shades. I guess I just haven't come across a brush that really gives me the results that I want out of it. As always, if you have hooded eyes, you want to keep it a decent way below the crease so that you don't have too much transfer going on. I'm sorry if I keep dropping out of frame with this. I'm still honing my tutorial skills, I guess. Okay, so now I'm going back into the Too Faced Natural Matte palette and I'm going to pick up this little shade here, the broken one called Sexpresso. I love that name, Sexpresso. Any coffee lover will relate to that name. I'm just gonna use a pretty ordinary pencil brush. This one's by Sonia Kashuk. I really love this one. And I'm just gonna pick up a tiny bit of Sexpresso, and that's gonna go just on the outer corner, very close to the lash line. You just wanna darken that outer edge without like overwhelming that whole outer corner. And then when you get to that very outer edge, you can bring it up a little bit and blend it out. So you can see I'm making it thicker right out to the edge and just blending it very slowly. This is something you want to build up carefully. It's basically in lieu of actual eyeliner, but it'll still make your lashes look really nice, and it'll add a little depth to that outer corner as well. It doesn't close up my eyes, it just makes them look, I guess, like they have more depth at that outer edge. So I'll show you on this eye, which is less hooded and not quite as puffy, so you can really see what I mean. There we go. And as you can see, I'm stopping along the lash line. I'm stopping right in the middle. So you don't want to take it any further in than that. Because if you do, it'll start to close up your eye. You'll lose that brightness on the lid. Of course, if your eyes are very hooded, you can skip this step entirely. But another thing that you can do to elongate your eyes and make them look bigger in that sense is a very thin winged liner. And under glasses, winged liner done right looks amazing. You just have to, like I said, keep the line along your lash line quite thin so that, again, you don't lose that brightness on the lid, because that's one of the things that's going to help make your eyes look really bright and open. Now, because I suck at mascara, I'm going to do my mascara before I do my bottom lash line. You can do this the other way around if you're confident with mascara. I am, of course, using my Holy Grail mascara, the Maybelline Lash Sensational. So I should add, I don't tend to curl my lashes just because I don't find that I need to. They're pretty curly as is, and this mascara gives me a really nice curl. If you find that your lashes are quite straight, curling them will make a big difference, especially for someone who wears glasses, because having curled lashes really opens up your eyes beautifully. So here we go. Let's see how much mascara I can get on my lids today. If you want to wear false lashes with glasses, I definitely recommend looking up Asian brands that make false lashes, because their ranges tend to include more short length lashes. So lashes that are less likely to kind of bump up against your glasses and get really uncomfortable. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, maybe it's because there's a high percentage of glasses wearers in Asian countries. It's more like sort of 80% of people, which is baffling, as opposed to like 2/3 of people, I think, in most Western countries. If you're short-sighted, then a mascara that looks quite clumpy can actually be a good thing for you. Because the biggest thing that you want out of your mascara is for it to make your lashes look bold. Because as I said, your glasses are gonna make your eyes look smaller. Okay, I'm just gonna go grab some cotton buds, clean up this colossal mess, and then we can move on to the bottom lash line. I return! So much better. Okay, so lower lash line time. I'm gonna go back into that Sexpresso shade from the Too Faced Natural Matte palette, the same one that we just dabbed on the outer corner there, instead of like, you know, eyeliner. And I'm gonna pick that up with the same pencil brush, and just a tiny little bit. I'm gonna put that just on the outer corner. And you wanna stop, again, at about that halfway mark, at most, really. You can stop at like the 2/3 mark if you want, especially if you have very small eyes. But again, this just kind of shapes the outer corner and makes your eyes look rounder and thus bigger. So you can see like what a difference, especially in this eye, which is less puffy today, you can see what a difference this eye look has already made for this eye, and it's not even finished yet. So next, this bit is entirely optional. I just do it because I love making my lashes look really, really full, and I don't know, it does make your eyes look a little bit smaller, just a little bit, but I don't know, I kind of think it's worth it because I love it how it makes my lashes look. So I'm gonna use my Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline eye pencil in black, and I'm gonna tightline my waterline. Ta-da! So you can see it does make the eyelid look a little lower, but for me, I just love how it makes my lashes look, so I don't mind so much. But one thing that is gonna make your eyes look brighter and bigger is lining your bottom waterline with something brightening. So you can use a white eyeliner, so long as it's waterproof, of course, but that can be a bit harsh for some people. You might prefer a light skin-toned eyeliner instead. For me, my favorite thing to put in my bottom waterline for that really brightening look is this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Yogurt. I love this one. It's so pretty. It's just like a beige kind of shimmery tone, I guess. It's so pretty. So yeah, it's totally perfect for that bottom waterline, just to brighten everything up really nicely. And of course, because it has a shimmer in it, that reflectiveness is really nice under glasses. I do also find that these Jumbo Eye Pencils stay really nicely in the waterline too, surprisingly. I don't know, maybe it's because it's a shadow crayon, so it does kind of dry to a powdery finish. Maybe. Then what I'm gonna do is continue with this, you know, Jumbo Eye Pencil and carry it in around my tear duct for like an inner corner highlight effect. There is another one of these in the shade, I think it's called Pure Gold, and that one's really, really nice as a, you know, a waterline and inner corner highlighter as well. Now to finish it all off, what I'm gonna do is take the Essence single eyeshadow that I use as my face highlight, which is the shade number 8 Apricotta. I love this. It's such a gorgeous highlight, especially on really, really pale people like myself. So I haven't highlighted my face yet, but when I do, this is what I'll be using. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my little finger and dab it over where I've put that Jumbo Eye Pencil in the inner corner. So just tap, tap, tap. And it's such a gorgeous inner corner highlight. There we go. So you can see brightening up the inner corner of the eye. I mean, it makes an even bigger difference when you wear glasses, of course, because you always want to draw light towards your eyes. Okay, so that's the eyes done. I'm sure you guys can see a big difference from like the original shot with me with no eye makeup on at all. And that inner corner highlight makes a big difference in terms of like any shadow that you get around that area from your glasses. And of course, that shadow from your glasses is another reason it's extra important to, you know, conceal and maybe highlight a little under your eyes in general. You know, using a brightening concealer, something that's quite light reflective,
is really, really important when you wear glasses. It's one of the reasons I love my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind so much, because that one's fantastic for, you know, that under eye area. Also, in terms of your brows, when you wear glasses, it becomes extra important to make sure that they're very well groomed and, you know, as even with each other as possible, because any little differences are going to show up more because you've got this perfectly symmetrical line underneath them from your glasses. So yeah, keeping your brows well groomed will make a massive difference. Also, if you have thick frames like me, making sure that you don't sort of overdo your brows, that's important as well, because of course if you overdo your brows, then you've just got, you know, two thick dark lines above your eyes and it just kind of diminishes them, you know, which of course is the last thing you want to do. You know, you want your eyes to look bright and vibrant and, yeah, eye-catching, I guess. And of course, making sure that you know, get rid of any little baby hairs down here. That's extra important if you're long-sighted, because of course that magnifying effect from your glasses is going to make those really, really stand out. So yes, I'm just going to go put on, you know, my blush, highlighter, contour, lip stuff, and I shall be back shortly. Okay, so this is the completed look, you know, with my, where did I put it? With my beloved Too Faced Lip Creme lipstick in pink chocolate. I love this lipstick, especially with a really sort of neutral kind of eye look like I've done today. And I'm wearing the same highlight that I showed you guys that I put on my inner corner. I also put a little bit under the brow bone, which is a great idea if you're short-sighted, again, because, you know, your glasses make everything look a little smaller. Highlighting onto your brow, again, brightens everything, brings everything forward. If you're long-sighted, I'd say highlight under your brow with a matte highlight if you do want to highlight that area, just because, again, any kind of shimmer shows up extra harsh when your glasses are magnifying everything. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so that you don't miss my future videos. And I hope you guys are having a fantabulous week. Keep on being your awesome, gorgeous, chronically fabulous selves, and I shall see you guys in my Thursday video, which should be my May favorites. See ya!